Not everyone who had access to the old version of you is automatically entitled to the healed version of you. Over the last few episodes, some of you started identifying scripts. You confronted grief. You started renewing your mind. But here's the thing. Renewal requires protection, because if your mind is renewed and then you keep submitting it to unhealthy patterns, the old script will try to reload. And here is why this matters in this series. You cannot love your neighbor well if your mind is constantly being pulled back into unhealthy patterns. We've been building from one instruction: love your neighbor as yourself. And here is one thing we don't always talk about. If your self is constantly overwhelmed, drained, or triggered, your love would reflect that. And it's not because you're a bad person, but it's because your capacity is compromised. So boundaries are not the opposite of love. They are what protect your ability to love well. And let me clarify something very important. Boundaries are not just for people who experienced trauma. They are not only for those who grew up in dysfunction. Boundaries are for every one of us. Even if you've had a healthy upbringing and your relationships are stable, boundaries are not simply a reaction to damage. They are a structure for wisdom. Because love without structure eventually turns into exhaustion. In Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, the scripture says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guard, not hide, not harden. Guard. Because everything, including how you love people, flows from what you allow into your heart. Boundaries are often misunderstood. Boundaries are not punishments. They are protection. They are not walls to keep people out. They are gates that decide what comes in. Even Jesus practiced boundaries. There were moments he withdrew from the crowd, moments he rested, moments he did not entrust himself fully to certain people. And that wasn't because he was wounded. It was because he was intentional. Let's make this very practical. If you are constantly drained, you will start resenting people. If you keep saying yes when you mean no, your yes would lose sincerity. If you keep overriding your limits, your love will become forced. And forced love is not the love Jesus was talking about. Healthy love is sustainable, and sustainability requires boundaries. When you begin renewing your mind, something happens. You become more aware. You begin to notice certain conversations that drain you, certain environments that pull you backward, certain dynamics that pressure you to shrink. That awareness is not overreacting, it's discernment. And boundaries are how you honor that discernment. Let me also say this. Boundaries are not about cutting everyone off. They are not about becoming cold. It's not about you becoming hyper-independent. They are about clarity. Just like fences protect gardens, they don't mean that the garden is broken. They preserve it. You may need a boundary if you feel consistent resentment, or you feel pressure to say yes when you mean no. You override your discomfort to keep peace. You feel small in certain places. And here is something important. Resentment is often love that has been stretched beyond healthy limits. Boundaries sound like clarity. I'm not available for that. I need time before I decide. Oh, that comment you made it makes me uncomfortable. I can't continue this conversation right now. Those sentences are calm. They are clear. Boundaries don't require shouting. They require self-awareness. And if guilt shows up, ask yourself, am I trying to win approval? Galatians 1:10 says, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? You cannot love people well and abandon yourself in the process. That's not right. Healthy love includes boundaries. And if you don't protect yourself, you will eventually struggle to love your neighbor with consistency, clarity, and peace. So here is a task for today. Identify one area where you feel tension or resentment. Ask, what would honoring myself look like here? Then practice one small boundary, not 10, just one. Okay? You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are not unloving for honoring your limits. And you are not dramatic for requiring respect. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting what God is building in you. Because when your heart is guarded well, your love becomes healthier, clearer, and more consistent. And that is how you begin to truly live out. Love your neighbor as yourself. My name is Omolayo Kwanla. I'm the Purpose Midwife. And here we examine the scriptures and break it into practical wisdom for everyday living. And I'll see you in my next video.